up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Where are my party people coming in from today? I got my double bobber here today. What's up, y'all? Let me get some thumbs up if you know that today's gonna be alright. Come on, y'all. Good morning, what's up, Liz? How you been? What's going on, Mackenzie? It's gonna be alright, y'all. It's gonna be alright. I'm gonna tell you, man, this subject is gonna touch some people. Some people are going to be mad at me. It's not my intention. It really isn't. I want you to listen completely to what I'm saying because it's going to be alright. And here's how. I'm going to show you how it's going to be alright. First of all, music will do it. Surround yourself with some good. What's up, David? How you doing, man? Here we go. Let's pause. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Again, in case for any of you guys out there that don't know, my name is Victor Glide Alicea, man, and I gotta tell you, I want to give a big shout out to Eric Thomas, man, E.T. You know, most of the time I'm listening to this guy. He is amazing. He's inspiring. He has lived what he talks about, and that's what I love about him. And I'm the same way. I've lived what I'm going to talk about. And right now I'm going to talk about a story of something that's going to make some people get upset, but I really want you to just listen to me because I have been there. I'm going to talk about something that's real for me that I've been through in my life and how I got out of it. And I want to share with you that no matter what you say or think, you can too. You know, the stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over and over again are the things that we live. We relive them. We relive them and relive them. There are awful things that have happened in the world to us, to many of us, to many of you out there listening to me. I know that there are things that are awful that have happened to you. Horrific things. They've happened to me. But it's the stories after that we tell ourselves that either make us grow or keep us stuck. And I'm not saying, listen to me, I understand that everybody has their own way of dealing with all different kind of things. Death, being molested, being ignored as a child, being beaten, all of these things, I understand. I get them. I've been there. I've dealt with death. I had a partner who, we had our lives all set up. Everything was moving in the right direction, and then boom, she was gone in an instant. She came home one day and told me that she had cancer, and 11 months later, she was gone. 11 months. So I understand death. I understand. My brother passed away 2 years ago, just like that, in an instant. My only brother, I have one, and he's gone. So I understand death. I get it. I relate to you. My son lost his firstborn son. I understand death and the pain that it causes people like my son. How do I, as a parent, help my son get through this pain? And that's the thing that I want to talk to you guys about. It's not staying there. It's getting out of that. You never forget. I never forget. I will never forget Lynette. I will never forget my brother. I miss him all the time. I would never forget Sage. Never. But I have Layla and Victor and Ariel and my grandchildren and my mother and my father who need me here. They need me to show up every day in my life. How do I do that? I tell myself a different story. I stop thinking about why this happened to me and, what can I learn from this? And what can you learn from death? Right? People are like, well, you're being insensitive. I'm not being insensitive. What can you learn from death? Let me help you. I can learn that I don't have a lot of time to spend with these people. That tomorrow is not guaranteed. So that I'm going to make the best of today with them. And I'm going to hold the memories of the people that I love. And I'm going to cherish them. And I'm going to cry sometimes. And I'm going to get upset. And I'm going to beat my pillow and bang my steering wheel. But then I'm going to show up because the kids need me. Their kids need me. My parents need me. As they're getting in age, they're going to need me to take care of them. And I can't take care of them if I'm stuck in a situation which I can't control. We cannot control that. That is something we cannot control. It's out of our control. What we can control is our response. The response that we give to it. Man, I wish I could have spent more time. You know what? Learn from that. Spend more time with the people you have here. That's happened to me. And it's happened to some of you out there. And if I can help you move forward, then fantastic. Horrible things can happen. Horrible things can be said. There are bullies out there. I know the big thing right now is cyberbullying. But let me tell you something. Block those people. Block them. You don't have to let them in. There are people that are bullies and tell you that you can't do something. Block them. Stop. Block them. Boom. You're out. I don't need you. There are people that say that you're not a good dancer. You're not somebody who you know you are. Block them. You know who you are. No one can hurt you with words unless you allow that to be into your life. No one's words, they are here. Words come from here in. Unless you're the one talking about yourself, then stop it. If you're the one talking about yourself, this is what it looks like. Bam, 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 bam. You're bashing your face. Can you imagine right now I would have bruises all over my face? And those words that you say to yourself, they're internal bruises. Bruises you can't see. But eventually, you start living like you're worthless because you keep saying it. But other people, whatever they say, whatever they think, doesn't matter unless you let them in. And the other one is being molested. Listen, I'm just gonna come out right here and say it. I was molested twice as a youngster by a guy that was older than me, but I thought was cool. I was betrayed. And at first you want to blame everybody else. You want to blame the whole situation. There's nobody to blame except for that person. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. I did everything right. That person is sick. It's not my parents' fault, no matter what the circumstances are. I was living with my grandparents. It's not their fault. It's not anybody else's fault. This person was horrible and awful. And I was molested years ago. And for years, my stories were I'm not enough. I did more damage to myself. You do more damage to yourself with your stories. My stories were I'm not enough. I'm not man enough. And I had good relationships that I ruined because I had to prove every single day that I was a man. And it wasn't until I really became a man that I realized it doesn't matter the things that happen to me, the things that people say. What matters is your response. How you treat the situation. What can I learn from this and grow? This is a sensitive situation. But I got to tell you that some things that you're carrying happened 20 years ago. And yes, a lot of people are going to say, well, God is putting me through all this revelation and everything. Let me tell you about my God. My God is loving. My God is amazing. He does he lets us go through trials. He doesn't give us trials. He doesn't put horrible situations in our lives. He lets us go through it. And guess what? If you decide today, enough of what's happened to me in the past, today I'm a different person, then it changes, it stops, your pain goes away. You've got to let go. You've got to let go. If you were in a bad situation years ago, and it was years ago, you've got to let go. Because the only one, that person doesn't matter. It doesn't care anymore. They don't care. And you're never going to get sorry. You're never going to get sorry. The only thing, no words can break you. Again, no words can break you. No behavior can break you. Yes, it can hurt you and pain you. But we ourselves hurt ourselves longer by the stories that we tell. You know what I mean by that? You anchor it in. Every time you bring up your past and what happened to you, and you're still blaming. If you're still blaming, then you haven't let go. You're anchoring that story back in again. You're reliving it. And I'm not telling you to forget your stories. And I know that we all are different. I totally understand. I know that we're all different. But I've been there. I've been in the place where I carry the pain. I've been in the place where I still blame. I still look for answers. The answer is inside. You do have a God who has died on the cross for you. For me, anyway, maybe some of you know, but you have a God. He took my sins. He's forgiven me. And I need to work on forgiving myself and letting go, not holding on 20, 30, 40 years later, still in pain for the things that have happened in the past. You're doing more damage to yourself. Holding on only hurts you. All right? It doesn't hurt anybody else. It was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. There's no limit, I understand, for you to grieve or to go suffer. But it's never going to change. It's never going to change. The fact still remains that it's up to you. It's up to you, right? The only thing that can heal it is up to you when it's enough. When it's enough carrying this weight. You can't change the past, people. You can't change people. You can't change events. They happen. Things are awful, are going to continue to happen. But I encourage you. I ask you with all my heart to look at your response to every situation. That's where the living is. I have suffered through death. I understand that. I've suffered through divorce and being betrayed by my partner. I've suffered by people stealing my business a couple of times and me still persevering. The difference between you and me and you staying and stuck where you're at is your response. It's up to you. It's not going to come from somewhere else. You've got to forgive. You've got to forgive it all. Forgiveness doesn't free anybody except for you. You're not hurting anybody else but yourself and your family and your future and spending time with the people and loving again and all of that stuff by holding on. They're never going to say sorry. They're never going to change. You've got to let go and let God. That's the only way it's going to set you free. I love you guys. I'm sorry for the somber, but it's a very powerful thing. And if you got value from this, share it. If you know somebody out there that needs to hear this, somebody who's, when their spouse or their children have died, they've died too. There's so many other people who need you, especially you. Your life is meant to be lived. Your life is meant to be lived. So let's get living. We're going to dance it out. All right? I love you, man. I'm sorry if I offended you, and I understand that you have your own process. But I'm going to tell you at the end of this, your own process will never, ever, ever, ever be taken care of by somebody else. You've got to decide that enough is enough. It's time for me to live. You've got to decide to stop anchoring, to stop bashing your face or your insides with things that you're saying. You're not enough. You're enough. You have everything you need inside of you. All you need is in you right now. All you need. You're an amazing person, meant to prosper, to grow, to be amazing, to be everything. Your family needs you. You need you. The world needs you. It's time to let go. Stop telling the same stories that are hurting you. Tell new stories. Tell about how you came out of the hell. How did you survive all of this pain? How you become a powerful person. Get those hands up high in the air. How you won. Share stories of you winning. Are you with me? Get your hands up, everybody. Let's go. Because if you're still here right now, you're a winner. Those things don't matter. They've made you who you are. If you have a family after all of this pain, if you have kids, if you have a business, you are successful. Focus on all of that. I love you. You have greatness in you. It's going to be all right. Let go of the past so you can embrace the future. You're powerful beyond measure, man. God bless you.